Plaintiff Jonathan Chronister says he was married to the defendant for 8 years, and they have 2 children together. Jonathan claims during their marriage, the defendant went to rehab 8 or 9 times for her drug and alcohol addiction, and she eventually filed for divorce. He's suing his ex because he claims she crashed his car. Defendant Rachel Mathis says while she was married to Jonathan, he would be gone for weeks at a time for his job, and Rachel became extremely lonely. Rachel admits that she turned to alcohol to drown her sorrows and is now a recovering alcoholic. Rachel denies owing Jonathan for the car because she claims they were married at the time of the accident.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Well, it saddens me to be here today about this, but Rachel and I were in a relationship for quite a while. We dated for about a year. We were together, had good times, did the normal things couples did, and we got together and we had a child, and about 5 months after that we decided to get married.
How long were you married?
Since 2001, so
Okay.
I'm going on 8 to 9 years. After we got married, things seemed to change a little bit. I just noticed some things that weren't correct. When I would come home from work, I would see that there'd be like dirty diapers on the floor. The house would be a mess. There'd be just different things that cued me that something's not right about this picture. So we.
How would you know that there was dirty diapers on the floor?
Those things continued to happen. Just strange things were going on.
Like what?
Like dirty diapers on the floor.
You said that.
Messy kitchen. The kids
Messy
weren't.
kitchen.
You were never home.
What's strange about that, sir? There's a lot of nasty women.
It's.
Not that I believe him, ma'am. And there's a lot of trifling men who don't help their wives or their women when they get home.
That's right. I was working second shift, so I worked all day at the house.
But then you
with
nasty
my wife.
too, walking
No,
through. If you walking through dirty nastiness and not helping to clean it
it
up.
would be cleaned up before I left, but when I went to work, when I returned, the house would be in disarray. There'd be people there. It was just a mess. And after she got her second OWI, I started asking the parents and things, what's wrong here? Come to find out that days before we were married, she had serious drug and alcohol problems that I was not informed about prior to us getting married. She has convictions for other stuff. There's deferred judgments, cocaine.
Do you believe she was a drug addict and or an alcoholic while you all were married, and that's why she failed to pick up diapers?
Yes, that was the whole reason. She couldn't fulfill any duties. I asked her to get a part-time job.
So what would you
please.
be high off of when you would come home and see the diaper and walk past?
Nothing. I would right away start cleaning up the house.
Oh,
and
you
doing
would
the
clean
duties.
up?
Yeah, I would have to clean it up. It was a mess. And as soon as I got home, she would be out the door to go party, and it wasn't just on Friday or Saturday night. It was every night of the week.
That was at the end of the marriage.
I might not
That's kind of
see
what
her.
caused the divorce, pretty much.
And well, she actually filed for a divorce. I did not. After she went into rehab 8 to 9 times. Now, on the last time for rehab,
While
she
you
had
all
to go.
were married?
While we were married,
She went to rehab 8 or 9
I did through it all with
times?
her. Yes.
Once.
And on the last time she was at rehab, she had to stay for 2 weeks at another city, and we had an agreement when she went there. I said, when you come home, you have to be clean, sober, keep a job, and do the normal stuff. I already talked to her parents prior. She could stay at their house until she could prove that she could be with us and the kids.
Okay.
And she was not able to do that.
That's sad. Let me hear from her, ma'am.
Your Honor, what he failed to mention is that I had open heart surgery in 2003 before we had our daughter. The day after I got out of the hospital, I wasn't supposed to lift more than 5 pounds. And he continued to work the next day.
That's why the diapers. Why didn't you understand, sir?
I did help. That was one
You didn't tell him that the doctor said you couldn't lift more than 5 pounds, so that's why them nasty diapers had to just stay there.
You know,
that's on the floor.
After we had our daughter, he was gone for like a week at a time doing snow removal. He worked for my dad at the hospital. And I got lonely, Your Honor. I got lonely and I started drinking real hard. It became my best friend, and I'm a recovering alcoholic. I did go to intensive outpatient treatment for that.
When was your last stint in treatment?
It was in July of '08.
All right, why'd you all divorce, if you want to tell me, before we get to the car and repairs he's suing you for?
Because, Your Honor, I could not, he was money hungry, and I could not stay married to somebody like that. I could not live with the lies. Lies would pop up time after time. As we proceed, you'll probably hear a few more.
All right, let's proceed. Sir, what do you want to tell me about the car and repairs you're suing your ex-wife for?
After we got through some of the divorce stuff, I was awarded full custody of the children. So we were doing our thing, and
that
Rachel
was temporary custody.
All right,
temporary joint
that's good enough. Go ahead.
Rachel seemed to be doing good. We went through the divorce, did all the paperwork in the trial, and went through all that. She filed in November of '07 is when she actually filed for the divorce.
When was it complete?
In June.
That's not correct, Your Honor. I've got
You have it.
And
Let me
then
see it,
what happened was that between that time and the time that the clerk actually stamped it, we had a major flood in Iowa. So all the paperwork was backed up.
Tell me about the car and the repairs and why you're suing her
Rachel
for
seemed
them.
to be doing actually quite well in 2008, and she asked to borrow my automobile.
You all were married?
No, we weren't.
Oh.
She just asked to borrow the automobile.
Yes, we were married.
What month of 2008 did she ask to borrow your vehicle?
It was in July.
July what?
7/22/2008.
The 22nd of July.
22nd of July.
That's correct.
That's when you asked to borrow his car.
Yes.
And that's...
It was our car, Your Honor.
What was the adjudication regarding the car?
On page 9, it said that everybody was to keep the car that they had in possession at that time, was to be their automobile.
And you say you allowed her to use yours.
I borrowed her the car, and she said she'd have it back in a couple hours. Well, 2 days later, a towing company called me and asked me if I was going to come pick up my automobile because they're going to start charging me a storage fee. And I said, no, I had no idea what it was about. So I went and actually picked up the automobile. Actually, it had to be towed to my house.
You have a list of the things she owes you for. Let's see, ma'am. Tell me what your defense is.
My defense is that car was both of our names was on it, Your Honor. We both had insurance on it, and as it says in the decree, we were married at the time that the accident happened.
Now, you said the accident occurred July 22nd. The order verifying the divorce was...
November 28th of 2008.
No, the signature is...
It's stamped on the front when the judge...
That's when it was filed, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm looking right at it. Filed,
Yes.
Judge,
not
you are
concluded.
correct. You are
It was
correct.
filed in November of 08. It was concluded July 17th. On July 22nd, it was no longer your car. Now, you have any defense to the amount?
This is the only thing that he gave me.
Let's see it. You have an estimate.
Yes, I have all those. He can have this. I got quite a few papers. Along with this is the title with just my name on it, because it was only in my car.
So it was a total loss?
It was a total loss vehicle.
All right.
I had liability, which took care of the other car. And I have the insurance statement that says she was the driver and that the insurance paid for her medical. And
The towing,
here's
all
the
right,
towing bill.
directly related.
Towing bill and the fine from the officer that I had to get the car out of impound.
All right.
Here was the towing bill that I had to have the car dropped off at my house because it was undrivable. And then here was a repair bill to get the car repaired. Here's was a parts bill for the parts from the salvage yard.
Bench is going to fall down. There's so much paper.
And then we
The bench is
agreed.
going to fall down, cave in.
We agreed to try to sell the car so she wouldn't have to own a junk car. So we advertised it in the local paper.
Okay, ma'am.
Your Honor, just to prove that in the state of Iowa where we're from, right here is a criminal background check, and it was run 8/13 of 2008. Legally, those papers were not filed until November 28th of 2008. Right here it says that, you know, in those papers it says my maiden name was given back to me.
Okay.
There's a date on here and
One
there.
at a time, one at a time. You know how we do.
It's
One at a time. Use your one. Go ahead. Next.
That's the back page of this.
How many pages is that? One at a time, ma'am. Go ahead.
I just wanted to note in there that we were still married in the court of Iowa, under the court of Iowa, as of 8/13
Well,
of
the court of
2008.
Iowa, the judge signed the order of divorce on July 17th of 08. The date that a judge signs the order of divorce is the date it is effective. A legal document is effective immediately after a judge signs it. That's a very elementary part of what they taught me. And what most people would refer as reasonable and logical. And the accident occurred, by your own admission, July 22nd, and you all were not married. The car belonged to him, as it reads in the divorce decree. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
She's still my ex-wife. We have 2 children together, and hopefully we can continue from here and have a good life.
I think the kids are put in the middle of a lot of stuff that they shouldn't be, but there's childish resentments, and they need to be dealt with differently so that the kids don't suffer.
I think the children are well off. They have been secluded from a lot of the back and forth stuff like we have here, but yeah, it does affect them, and hopefully they will be able to cope with it later in life.